First up, have you ever had airport security make you feel like an underperforming stripper? Trevor did, until a legendary TSA agent named Velasquez stepped in with a wand and a whole lot of magic.
And so I'm in Burbank Airport and I go through security, and then for some reason I was beeping. I don't know why. I walk to the metal detector and I beep. Go out, beep. Go out, beep. Go out. And every time I have to take something off, I gotta beep. And the agent, he's just losing it. The whole time he's like, take that off, take it off. And I'm going like, beep, 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 beep. He's like, take that off, take it off. And I come back, he's like, take that off. He's getting more and more angry. I'm basically naked right now, and he's losing it. Like I felt like an underperforming stripper. It was horrible. He's just like, And finally he's like, you know what, just get out here. So I walk to the side, he's like, go ahead and put your hands up. I put my arms up, and he whipped out a little personal metal detector. Yeah, it looks like a midget sword, right? But they call it the wand. That's what they call it, the wand. And so he whips that out, yeah, because that $100,000 machine, that's play. Shit just got real. And so he looks at me and says, go ahead and stick your hands up, sir, and just keep them right there. So I put my arms up, and he scans me. He's like, You got any metal objects on you? I'm like, well, then what was that for? If you were gonna ask me anyway, then what was this? The foreplay to my honesty? What is this? Why? And then, as if he can't do this right, he calls for backup. He goes, I'm gonna need you wait. Can we get Velasquez to gate 10, please? Velasquez to gate 10. And he calls for a man by the name Velasquez, who I'm assuming was the best wander that they had. Because he wasn't even on the floor. They called for him, and Velasquez emerged from the back offices of the TSA. And he walked out, and the energy changed. People bowed their heads as he walked past. Everyone gave him a little nod. You could see he was special, and he didn't look like it. He didn't look like much. You know, Velasquez was a little Mexican man, very long mustache, big chest, and he was very short, really, really short guy. But he didn't feel short. Like he looked short, but he didn't feel short. Do you know what I mean? Like he had this thing. You know those short people that are so confident, it looks like they just chose to grow low. He had that energy. And so Velasquez walks down towards where I'm standing with my agent. My guy tries to apologize, says, I don't know what's going on. I silenced him with one move of his hand. He's like, no, I go. And he stepped up, he looked me in the eye, and he's like, sir, you got to stand for side and not give for that, okay? Don't touch nothing on the movie, okay? None of that. And I didn't know what he was saying. But I knew what he meant. And so I stood there, I raised my arms, and as I did, he whipped out his wand. And he started using it all over me, and as soon as he did, I knew why he was who he was. It was the most magical thing I've ever come across in my life. The way he wielded that wand was unlike anything I've ever experienced. I felt like I was being blessed. I just stood there with my head down as he went all over me, just blessing me with his power. It was something special. It was like a force and energy. It's so, like on the outside, you still heard that beeping. It was like, ee, but in my head, I heard a lightsaber. That's what I heard. I heard like, it was like, because he was to me, a little Mexican Jedi. In fact, that's exactly what he was. He was my Mexican Jedi.
Ever wondered why there are no Mexican Jedis in Star Wars? Trevor breaks down how Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader's most iconic confrontation would have gone down if a Mexican dad was behind the mask.
Which, by the way, I feel would be a welcome addition to the Star Wars franchise. No, I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I was super excited when I found out they'd be making another one. I was losing my mind. I went back, watched all the movies, and I came to realize that there's no Mexican Jedis, not even one. There's no Mexican Jedis, which is weird. Because when you look at it, technically speaking, Star Wars is a vision of America in a distant future. So, surely it would be safe to say, judging by the current trajectory of Mexican people in America, I'm sure it would be safe to say that by that time, in a galaxy far, far away, there would be at least one. Yeah, just one Mexican Jedi. It's not even like it would spoil the story. Who knows, it might open up a whole new avenue. Can you imagine how different that epic scene between Luke and Darth could have been? Them battling it out on the Death Star. The moments of realization. Luke. What do you want, you evil man? Luke. What do you want from me? No. Luke, man. Luke. It's your father, man. That's how racism starts. But you know what? It was worth it. Yeah, it was worth it. I love traveling, man. I love traveling and learning about places, and reading things, meeting new people.
Next, we take a trip back in history to Rochester, New York, and witness the absolute wildest, most improbable way a famous slang phrase was ever born.
When I think about the history of racism, I'm fascinated by racism as a concept, as an action, policy. All of it fascinates me. I read these stories in history. And one of the most fascinating things I read about recently, one of the most fascinating places, was a place called Rochester, New York, where, genuinely, this blew my mind, where they had a city which was basically dedicated to rehabilitating people who had escaped slavery, right? So black people who had escaped the South, got into the North, were rehabilitated at this place. Frederick Douglass wrote many of his works there. The suffragette movement kicked off there. It's a powerful, powerful little place. And I was reading these stories, and what they would do is, slaves would escape from the South, they'd make their way to the North, they would get to Rochester, the Underground Railroad would get them there, and then they would rehabilitate them, put them on boats, and send them to Canada, so that they could live free. And I was like, it's a fascinating story for two reasons. One, to remind you that there were a lot of good people, white people out there, because a lot of time I get angry at white people, and then I'm like, no, there's good ones, calm down. And the second part of it that was amazing is that they convinced black people to get back on boats. I think that's one of the most amazing stories I've ever read. Because, do you know how convincing you'd have to be to convince someone who's they've just escaped slavery? Think about that for a second. Somebody's just escaped slavery, made their way there, finally. Right? They wake up after one night of free sleep, and they walk out like, hey, man, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you did for me, man. Well, you know what, my friend? Nobody deserves to live the way you lived, and I'm glad we got you out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, my friend. Okay, all we got to do now is get you some paperwork, get you cleaned up, and put you on a boat, get you to Canada, and you can live a free life, and everything's going to be better. I'm sorry, hold up. Yeah, could you come again? What did you say? Oh, I know, the paperwork thing is weird, but we got to get you some identification. No, you said something about a boat? Yeah, we're going to get you on a boat so you can get to... Yeah, we don't do boats no more. I don't know if you know our history, but me and my people, we took a cruise one time. That shit didn't go so well. So, yeah, we got to find another way to get to Canada, if you don't mind. No, but the boat is the best way for us to get there from Rochester. Yeah, that might be the best way for y'all, but we gonna walk. Hell, we can run real good. We can run, but we ain't getting on no boat. My friend, you gotta get on the boat. I ain't gotta do shit. I just got free. Imagine if I get on that boat and on the other side I'm in the same place. What they gonna say to me? Why'd you get on that boat? Because he was real nice. Oh, hell no. I ain't getting on no boat. Well, but you gotta get on the boat, though. You're free now. You gotta get over this. Look, man, maybe one day in a few hundred years, one of my descendants named Kanye West will be over this shit, but I ain't over it right now. So I ain't getting on no boat. We gotta get you on the boat, damn it. I'm not getting on no boat. And that was the day the phrase "nigga please" was invented. And white man turned and he's like, "Nigger, please, I need you on that boat." And that story was passed down generation to generation. Black person to black person, free man to free man. And that white man got down on his knees and he said, "Nigga, please."
Nigga, please, nigga, please. I ain't never heard that phrase before in my life. Nigga, please, nigga, please, nigga, please.
I know that's probably a phrase Barack Obama used at least once in the White House. At least once. Like, Mr. President, do you think Trump is because of you? Do you think you caused this? Nigga, please. Just one time. One time I know he used it.
Have you ever noticed what happens when white people have a slightly bad day? Get ready for Trevor's hilarious observation on the art of being flabbergasted.
You ever seen when a white person's having like a bad day, something's gone wrong, and they always do that thing with their face, they just get flabbergasted, it's like, ah. White people love being flabbergasted. You'll see it in supermarkets all the time. There's like a long line, right? Like only one cashier is open. Everyone's standing there patiently. There'll always be one white person who pops out like, why don't they open the other? Are you serious? Why don't they? Are you? The only thing white people love more than being flabbergasted is finding another white person to flabbergast with. Have you seen that? Yo, whenever that happens, magic. It is absolute magic. A white person will be flabbergasting. They'll make eye contact with another white person, and then they'll flabbergast together. It's like they Voltron their flabbergasting into a super flabbergast. You see them look over and just be like, oh, are you seeing it? I know. And that's one of the keys to flabbergasting I've learned. You have to exhale. You have to let it all out. Life is so hard that the air has to leave your body. You can no longer even breathe. That's why there's so many tornadoes in the Midwest. It's just white people flabbergasting. It's like... Strangest things people would say to me, Trevor, well done on everything, eh? Congrats. But, even though you're going to America, don't forget us, all right? Don't you forget us. Like, I don't even know who you are. People would say the weirdest things to me. You know, the number one thing people have said to me, number one thing, it's not good luck, it's, hey, Trevor, good luck over there, but whatever you do, don't forget your accent, all right? Yeah, please, don't pull a Charlize on us, okay? You keep your accent, man, make us proud. Everyone said that.
Trevor, brah. Hey, Trevor Noah. Hey, massacre. Hey, man, you're making us proud, no? Yeah, man, you're doing big things for us, but brother, can I ask you a favor, no? Don't lose your accent, no? Don't lose your accent. Yeah, when you come back from the States, you mustn't come back talking funny, okay? Please, brother. If you lose your accent, don't come back.
You just threaten me? What does that mean, if you lose your accent? How do you lose your accent? People make it sound like you're going to be walking down the street and then just out of the blue, you'll be like, my accent! I lost my accent! What the hell is my... Oh. Well, hello? No, that's not my accent! That's my accent! How are you going to lose your accent? I was stressed now. Because I don't want South Africans to think I'm not South African. I don't want them to think I've forgotten something. This is my home. Now I'm stressed coming home. I'm in the plane, flying back to Johannesburg, and the whole time I'm just thinking, don't lose your accent, Trevor. Don't lose your accent. Don't lose your accent. Don't accent. Is that how I say accent? Accent. By the time I landed at OR Tambo, I was losing my mind. I walked in arrivals, the woman was there at customs, welcome back to South Africa, sir. I was like, yes, I'm back. Same old Trevor. Nothing changed. Going crazy. Because I love accents, I really do, I love accents. I like learning languages, and so obviously accents are a byproduct of that. I've learned over time that even if you can't learn a language, an accent is a great way to communicate with somebody in your own language whilst trying to bridge the gap. You know, you learn somebody's accent, you communicate more effectively. The thing is, though, you have to learn the accent in the right way. If you're going to speak to someone in their accent and you do it in the wrong way, you might come across as racist. You've got to be very careful about this. White people in South Africa often fall into this trap. Yeah. It happens at petrol stations quite a bit.
See people driving in with their friends, talking normally, sitting in the car. So I mean, if we get all the numbers together, marketing should be behind this. It should be a breezer. HR's stepped up, and it's going to be a great year. And look, we try and make sure that. Sorry, hold on. Hello, Baba. Hey, sharp man. Please put Lapo full tanky, 95 unleaded, yeah. Also check our tires, Pressure, pumpy, not too much, 2.2, okay. Yeah, good jobby. Yeah, sharp, donkey boss. Don't do that. He's a grown man. He's been pouring petrol his entire life. He knows what you need. Just talk to him like a normal human being. That's the thing people don't understand. Speak to him like a normal human being. I used to get so angry. Whenever I'd see white people changing their accent when they talk to black people, I get so angry. I was like, all white people racist? Is that what it is? Racist? And then I learned. Life taught me not to be so quick to judge. Yeah, I learned a valuable lesson. I was driving to Gold Reef City one day, into the backstage area, and the security guard came out to the boom, and he was like, hey, how are you, sir? Is your name on the list? I said, yes, how are you, Baba? My name is Trevor. He's like, okay, Chabal. I said, no, Trevor. He's like, oh, sorry, Chabal. I said, no, Trevor. Shalva. Trevor. Shalva. Trevor. Shaval. Trevor. Shaval. Trevor. Shaval. And now my friend who was irritated, he just leans over me and he's like, hey, Papa, get Trevor. He's like, oh, Trevor. Why you don't talk properly? And then I understood. I finally understood what white people have been trying to do. I see, you're trying to communicate more effectively. You're trying to engage somebody. But understand this. When speaking to somebody in an accent, the number one rule to understand is an accent is not a measurement of intelligence. Right? An accent is just somebody speaking your language with the rules of theirs. That's all an accent is. So don't speak down to them. Don't patronize them. Speak to them the way you would to yourself. Just try and learn their accent. That's all it is. It's just another accent. Yeah. And I learn them. I spend all my time learning accents. I try. I love it. I learn in restaurants. That's a safe place to start. You learn, you read off the menu, you try and pronounce the words correctly. I was inspired by French restaurants, funny enough. Yeah, whenever I'd go to a French restaurant, I was always fascinated by the fact that people would order food in a French accent. I never understood why. Because they don't do it in any other restaurants. Only in French restaurants do people walk in and then change their accent when they order. They come in talking normally. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. You're really going to enjoy it. It's so beautiful. Yeah, stunning. You have to have, the dessert. Oh, good evening. How are you, sir? Yes, I will have a bottle of water for the table, please. And let's start off with, could we get the Sauvignon Blanc, please? Yes, and we definitely for main is going to have the filet mignon. And for dessert, we're going to go with the crème brûlée. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, you're going to love it. Like, why are you doing that? I never understood. I was like, why? Because it's not like the French are going to return the favor. There's no French people sitting in our restaurants in South Africa looking at the menu like, so for the table, we can order some starter portion. We share something? No? Okay. Could we please have one serving of the boerewors? That's not gonna happen.
Finally, let me introduce you to Donald Trump's genius vision for a border wall, complete with transparent concrete and giant solar ramps for launching people across.
I still can't believe the things Donald Trump says. He's such a... For me, Donald Trump is an emotional paradox, I'm not gonna lie. Logically, I can process him. Emotionally, I struggle. On the one hand, I will admit, I wake up many days terrified at the notion that he's president of the most powerful nation in the world. But I also I wake up many days knowing he's going to make me laugh. Yeah, there's terror and there's joy, and I don't know how to feel. You know what it feels like sometimes? It feels like there's a giant asteroid headed towards the Earth, but it's shaped like a penis. Like, I think I'm going to die, but I know I'm going to laugh. You just look at everything that he does. The world we now live in because of him. Like, you realize we're living through history. You know, this will never happen in our lifetimes. Like, living through a time when we're all learning about the presidency at the same time as the president. That's never happened. How wild is that concept? You wake up every day reading the news and you're like, wow, I didn't know that. And somewhere at that exact same moment, he's reading the same news going, wow, me too. And nobody knows where it's going to lead. Nobody knows what he's going to do. All we know is that he wants his wall. He wants his wall. Donald Trump wants his wall. He needs $25 billion the last time he asked. He needs it from American payers because Mexico is smart. That fell apart real quick. I remember how confident he was at the rallies, people cheering for him. He was like, folks, we're going to build. We're going to build a wall, folks. Who's going to pay? Mexico. And Mexico was like, we ain't paying for shit, man. We might build it, but we're not going to pay for it, man. And I don't know if you've been following the journey of the wall, but it's probably the best comedy on TV, right? Because now they've started building prototypes of the wall at the border, right? Because Donald Trump said he wants them to test the wall first. I don't know how you do that. And I was like, try again. And because this is the prototypes, Donald Trump now has specifications for the wall. He now says he wants the wall to be made out of concrete, but he also needs the wall to be see-through, right? And the reason the president wants the wall to be see-through is because he said he's afraid that drug dealers from Mexico are going to shoot bags of drugs over the wall and it's going to hit Americans on the head as they walk by. So he needs the wall to be see-through so that Americans can see the drugs coming and catch it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what a see-through wall is, but at this point I'm just worried that a contractor's gonna come along and trick the president. He's gonna take him to the border and be like, there it is, Mr. Trump, your invisible wall. And then just to make sure he buys it, he's gonna hire a troupe of Mexican mimes just to be like, oh my God, you can't get through it. It works. Like the mind of Donald Trump. Oh, the idea he had for the wall was he said America should build the wall out of solar panels. That's what he said. He said America should build the wall out of solar panels because that way the wall would generate electricity and pay for itself. Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's a good idea, right? It's a good idea. Unless you know anything about solar panels or the sun or wall. Because the problem with that idea is that the sun is up, yeah? We'll agree on that? We're still on the same page there, yeah? The sun is up, right? A solar panel wall is not gonna work because a wall is like this. So technically it's facing down. So unless you have like a really swaggy sun that's like, yeah, I shine real low, B, it's not gonna work for you. The only way it works is if you take your border solar panel and lean it at an angle to get the sun's rays. But if you do that, now you've just created a giant ramp for Mexicans to shoot into America. He's like, órale! The mind of Donald J. Trump. The J stands for Jesus. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of self-loathing going on there. And he's always going after someone, right? It's always going after someone. If it's not Mexicans, it's Muslims. If it's not Muslims, it's Africans from shithole countries. And that one was my favorite personally because I am an African and I've shat in a hole. I also liked it because like people came up to me and asked me questions. There was one man who came up to me after a show, really concerned. He was like, Trevor, hey, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah, go ahead, my friend. Yeah, Trevor, I just wanted to know when Donald Trump says all these horribly racist things, do you sometimes just want to, pack it up, leave America, go back to South Africa and escape all this racism? We chastise them. We bring them down. It's jealousy, it's hatred. Umona. Heroes that we don't acknowledge. Greats. After Nelson Mandela, we always go, nobody else can live up to that. Yeah, but there's small levels of greatness. You don't even have to look far. For instance, our great sign language interpreter. Tamsanga. Yankees. The man who made it all happen. Huh? He was there at Nelson Mandela's memorial service. A service that the whole world was watching. And because of that, the service was translated to everyone all over the world. Translated into all languages, including sign language. And so Yankees was there translating for those who didn't understand. Unfortunately, he also didn't understand sign language. Which is a small problem. A problem that he didn't let stop him, people. Where others see obstacles, he saw an opportunity. People go, he's a con man. He's a bloody, how could he do something so deceitful? Yeah, you gotta go, how could he do something so deceitful? That man, Yankees, showed something so powerful. He's a role model to the children. Because he showed that you shouldn't listen to what people say you can or cannot do. If you believe in yourself and you work hard enough, anything is possible. People told him his whole life, they're like, Yankees, you can't do sign language. He was like, we'll see about that. Bitches. And he did it. He did sign language for the most powerful people in the world. Every single one of them, Yankees, was on that stage doing it and doing it well. Nobody even suspected him. Nobody. People were just like, he's doing his thing. People ask questions. Where did he come from? Did he sneak? He didn't sneak in. He'd been the official sign language interpreter for the government for the last 5 years. Yeah. Official for the last 5 years. And apparently before this, people have complained. But obviously the complaints fell on deaf ears, so nothing was done about it. And so he just carried on. And now he was here. The biggest event of his life. Signing for the world. Signing. Just making it up. In the zone. Nobody suspected. I suspected though. I did. I did. Let me tell you why. No. Let me tell you why. Not because I know sign language. But because I know my president. And if there's one thing that's specific. Is when Jacob Zuma reads a speech, right? Jacob Zuma reads a speech. He's a very deliberate man. He's very calm. He's very measured. Takes his time. The rhythm is the most important thing. And Yankees didn't match his rhythm. I knew there was something wrong. You remember this. Zuma was there reading Mandela's Wikipedia page, right? And while he was reading, Yankees was doing totally different, like the rhythm was wrong. Zuma was there like, and thereafter, Nelson Mandela went to Robben Island for his imprisonment. Term and to filed for the rhythm didn't match, right? Zuma was on page 1, that guy was on like page 17 or something. It didn't match up at all. It's almost like Zuma was translating sign language for us. That's how slow it looked. Sorry, I haven't practiced, guys. It didn't match up. None of it. But Yankees did it. He stayed there in the face of adversity and he fought. Yeah. He did sign language for everyone. We've got to ask ourselves questions as well as South Africans. We don't ask enough questions. For instance, did nobody think to ask him how he could speak every single language in the world? Every leader came from countries everywhere. They spoke in their language. Yankees translated for everyone. Did nobody stop to ask? Even for a second. The president of Brazil is standing up there. Nelson Mandela está by. Nós temos de você, de Castro, do gosto muito, pelado que estava pesado. Nós dos Yankees was there. Did no one say, hey Yankees, you can speak Portuguese? I'm in the zone, Baba, I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone. Did nobody think to ask? He did sign language for everyone. The ambassador of China was up there. 가도시, 전도이 넬슨 만데라. 다도 입시부 다도 신주의 공고로 빠도시. Yankees was there on the side. He just made it up. He made everything up. And he did a great job at it. He did a great job. But then, like a true South African, he just took it too far. Enough wasn't enough. That's our problem in South Africa. That's all it is. We don't know when to stop. We take it too far. The same thing happens with tenders, all of these things. Guys are stealing houses and everything. I go, guys, I understand you want to steal. I understand that. I understand. But if you get a tender to build 10 houses, steal one, build 9. At least 9 people have houses. Don't steal all the houses. Somebody's going to notice. And then you can't steal more houses. But no, we want it all in South Africa. We take it one step too far. That's what Yankees did. He had done it for everyone. He'd done a great job. The best fake sign language the world had ever seen. He had gotten away with it too, until Barack Obama came up to speak. This was a speech that was going to be performed by the most powerful man in the free world. 90 million people watching that speech. This, my friends, is the point where you pack up your little bag of tricks and you call it a day. Not Yankees. If I was Yankees, that's where I would have called it quits. They say, hey, Yankees, next one. Who is it? Barack Obama. The whole world is watching this one. I know, sorry guys, sorry. Sorry, hey, my fingers are crimping. I've lost my voice, sorry. Oh no, not Yankees. They're like, Barack, he's like, I'm there. And he was. Doing sign language for Barack Obama. And they found out that while he was doing the sign language, he kept on using the same signs over and over again, right? The few real signs that he actually knew. And apparently all he knew was 4 things that he kept on doing repeatedly. And those things, they asked afterwards real sign language interpreters. They found that he was doing this, right? Which means greetings, yeah? Greetings, he kept on doing that. Another one he loved doing was circle, yeah? Yeah, circle. One of his favorites was smoking, yeah? And every now and again he'd go, get a little blah, blah. That's all he did, over and over again. Can you imagine that? Nelson Mandela's memorial, Barack Obama pouring his heart out. There he is, Barack Hussein Obama. And Yankees. As Americans, Nelson Mandela's a man that showed that through peace, you could free not only the prisoner, but also the guard. Nelson Mandela's a man, he's beyond a man, he's a legacy. A legacy I could never aspire to be, but we can all look towards. And for me, Nelson Mandela showed that sometimes in life, you gotta go the hard way. You gotta say the things that matter. And always remember to do what counts. I could never be Nelson Mandela. Can you imagine how horrible it must have been for every single deaf person watching that speech? Imagine what it must have been like as a deaf person watching that at home, sitting there. That must have been the craziest thing they've ever seen in their lives. Deaf people just watching going, hello. Hello. What? Why is he talking about smoking? Why is he talking about smoking? Talk about Nelson Mandela. I'm talking about talk about Nelson Mandela. What's wrong? Why is he talking about what? Hello. Why did he? This is the worst speech ever. There's something wrong with this guy. The Rock has a smoking problem. What the hell? Talk about Mandela. This guy, what's wrong with him? This is the worst speech. I can't listen anymore. This is horrible. This is horrible. Tell me when it's finished. I can't do this, man.
That speech must have been ridiculous. By the way, that's only the second time I've ever told a joke about deaf people, ever. Only the second time. Told one joke when I was starting out in comedy and then I stopped because I believed you shouldn't make jokes about disabled people. It's the wrong thing to do. It's wrong, you know. And I never did it again until one day my life changed. I got asked to do a show in Sun City. I was asked to do a show. Sasol was organizing a going away party for the South African Paralympic team when they were going out to London. And so they invited me. They said, Trevor, we'd like you to come and do a show to perform for Ama Kroko Kroko. We'd like... Oh, you forgot. You forgot that that's the name we gave our Paralympic team. Not a nickname. That was our official name. We had Ama Pogo Pogo, Bafana Bafana, and Ama Kroko Kroko. We called our Paralympic athletes Ama Kroko Kroko, which means the broken things. A bunch of crocs. That is the worst thing you can call a disabled person ever. Ama Kroko Kroko. That is what we call. You got Ama Kroko. That's probably what Reva said to Oscar that night. That's the only thing I can think of. Don't you call Ama Kroko Kroko? Ah! Ama. So anyway, I was doing a show for Ama Kroko Kroko, right? And because I'm there, I did no jokes about disabled people or anything that could be seen as offensive. I did nothing like that. And after the show, I was meeting some of the guys. Everything went well. And one of the athletes came up to me, and I'll never forget this till the day I die. He came up to me, and he was partially deaf. And he introduced himself, and he was a fan, a great fan. And he was like, hey, Trevor, hey, man, how are you? I said, hey, how you doing, buddy? How are you? Good to meet you. Good. He said, yeah, man, great to meet you. Great to meet you. I'm a big fan. I said, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. He said, yeah, dude, I love your stuff. You know what? You should have subtitles because, you know, sometimes I don't get it because I'm partially deaf. I was like, oh, I didn't even notice. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I didn't even know. I just thought you had an accent. That's cool, man. That's nice to meet you. He said, yeah, that's cool, man. I didn't have a question if you don't mind. I said, yeah, go ahead. He said, how come you never tell jokes about deaf people? So I'm sorry, what? I don't tell jokes about deaf people. He said, yeah, how come you never tell jokes about deaf people? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you tell jokes about everyone. Tall people, short people, black, white, everyone. But I've never heard you tell a joke about deaf people. Why? So you've never heard me tell a joke about deaf people? Yeah. No, man, not like that, you stupid. No, man, you're an idiot. I said, no, dude, I don't know. I don't make jokes about deaf people. He said, yeah, why not? I was like, because I shouldn't make jokes about deaf people because if I did that, then deaf people would be hurt and they would be offended. Why would we be hurt? It's not like we don't know we're deaf. So I never thought, I thought I was protecting you. Protecting us from what? From laughing. We also want jokes. We're deaf. Yeah, we know we're different, but we still want the same things. I was like, yeah, but you know what's funny is you say I must make jokes, right? But even if you're cool with it, you know who will complain? People who can hear. Yeah, they'll complain on your behalf because that's what people do. They get offended for other people. They'll be the ones going, oh, Trevor Noah's an asshole. He made jokes about deaf people. You're like, so? Why do you care? I said, because it hurts. It hurts. He's like, dude, you're a comedian. Suck it up. It's easy for you. No, dude, just make the joke. If the jokes are funny, people will laugh and then we move on. I was like, yeah, you know what? You say that. But then what do I do if they complain? He's like, dude, if they complain, then complain. Okay? You know what? Go do the joke. Go do the jokes. And then, if they complain, you must do what I do. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, just don't listen. To get a car, obviously, which I just almost couldn't get. You have to fill out forms and then they want your credits. And in America, credits is very important. I don't understand the concept.
I'm in the car dealership, and there's this Asian gentleman helping me. We're going through the forms, and he says, so how long have you lived in America for? I said, I haven't lived here for long. He said, oh, this not good for you. This not good for you. I said, what do you mean? He says, no, you cannot lease car in America unless you've been here a long time, because then you don't have credit, okay? You don't. I said, well, I've got the money to pay for it. He said, yeah, that's not the point, okay? That's not the point. In America, okay, in this country, we want credit, okay? Our country focus on credit. If you got good credit, you can buy anything. We don't care about money. We want credit. I said, well, credit is the assumption that you can pay back the money. He's like, no, that don't count here, okay? In our country, you have good credit, you can buy anything, okay? You got good credit. He's like, our country. And I was like, look, I hate to be rude, but when you say our country, do you mean our because you live here now? Or our because the Chinese own it? And he was like, it's a bit of both, okay? Yeah, but no credit for you, no car. Okay, goodbye. I had to just buy myself a car, you know, this is a horrible thing, drive around. And that's the worst thing, driving in America, wow. On the other side of the road, you feel like a rebel, you know? Until you see the other cars coming, and then it's not so much fun. You know how many times I did that, just going to the wrong side? And don't trust movies. It's not easy to do that whole thing. No, people don't just drive and no, they stop. They just look at you and go, what are you doing? In the movies, you drive past. What are you doing? And aren't you supposed to? No, they don't drive. They just wait for you to turn around. And the street is so small. You're doing one of those turns, just watching them in your shame, just like it's horrible. I had to practice for months. It was the worst. I remember I drove into a street once. I thought I'd learned. It had been months. I'd been doing it well. And then I turned into the wrong way. And I saw this little old Asian lady driving towards me. And I was like, no! And there was nobody else. So I swerved the car around. I was like, whoa! I was like, yeah! Hero! And I drove. And there were 50 cars coming this way. And I was like, you bitch! And I told my friend the story. I told him this. I was like, oh, this is what happened. And he was like, oh, that's so funny, man. That's so funny. And he's like, who was driving the car? I said, a little old Asian lady. And he's like, oh, yeah, you can't say that, man. You can't say that. I said, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you can't say she's Asian. I said, why not? He's like, yeah, because that's racist. I said, what, that she's Asian? He's like, nah, if she's a bad driver and you say she's Asian, that's racist. So let me get this straight. Asians are not allowed to be called bad drivers. Is this not racism in itself? Everyone else is allowed the world of bad drivers. But if I'm driving on the freeway behind an Asian person and they're swerving around, and I go, this bad driver, you drive like crap. And I pull up next to them, I'm like, oh, no, sorry. You're not a bad driver. You're just Asian. I'm sorry. Not racism in itself. It's madness. So now what I had to do was get around using a GPS, you know? Decided to get one of those. First, I tried to be a cheapskate. I thought, oh, get a phone with a GPS. That was a horrible mistake. Bought myself one of those iPhones with Siri. Oh, your assistant, she talks to you. She listens to you. If you're American, she doesn't understand one word I say. I don't understand why. I speak English, and they're talking to her. Doom, doom. She's like, what do you need? I'm like, Siri, please call Peter. You want pizza? No, cancel. Siri, I need Peter. You want pizza? No, Siri, I want pizza, not pizza. You want pizza? No, Siri, what's going on here? You want to, Siri, you're not making sense. Siri, are you having an attitude with me? You tell me. I don't know what the hell is going on here. Siri, just listen to me. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Siri, just, bitch. Dialing mom. What the hell? This is horrible. I had to buckle down and buy myself a real GPS to get me around, which has been working like a charm. If you don't have a GPS, you get yourself one. It's the best thing you'll ever do. Just don't make the mistake I made and buy it from Craigslist. I bought one off Craigslist, and the guy who sold it to me didn't tell me that it was a Spanish language GPS, which was not so good. I didn't understand anything she says. Look, I still get around because the arrows are in English, thank God. But But otherwise, it was just horrible. And I hated it the first few days. And then I fell in love with her. She's just, you know, I don't understand why more Americans don't speak Spanish. It's such a sexy language. I'm sitting there and like all the men in here, you want to feel like a man. You get yourself a Spanish GPS. Oh no, you don't understand. Traffic never sounded sexier. It's just like, I just punch in random destinations and she guides me around. She's like, dum dum. Sigue toco de que para conocí. En 200 metros sería la de la cha. And I'm just like, oh shucks, Tom Tom. You say that all the time. This is sexy, you know? She guides me around. It's beautiful. I love that. I'm going to learn Spanish because of that. Spanish has gone up my list. I had a few languages in Spanish. Spanish was like 6th language. I spoke 4 languages in South Africa. And then the 5th language was going to be Japanese. And then Spanish was, but now Spanish has gone up. Japanese I've had to pause because of the earthquake. There's not that many of them traveling now. So it's sad. There's no one now. There's like walk around the streets, just, you know. But Spanish has gone up. Because I was getting good at Japanese, don't get me wrong. I was getting really good. You know, I could say, and it's a great language. It's powerful. Because you speak Japanese from your chest, it makes you feel strong. Hey there. Yeah, very strong. Whereas English you speak from the head and the chest. You know, do you know what I mean? You speak it head and chest. You wouldn't know this. You wouldn't know this if you listen to many coastal girls in America. Like I've been in places like California where women insist on speaking English from their nose, which is not the correct. Yeah, like, oh my God, are you guys gonna like do this? And I was like there with Tiffany, and we were talking, and that's not the right way. You're not using your lungs. I know this because when I choked her, she sounded exactly the same. Jesus. Then she's like, oh my God, you're like totally choking me right now, and I can't breathe, and this is so not on. I am so gonna tweet about this. This is like the worst thing ever. Oh, I am so dying. OMG. You know, it's horrible. Whereas Japanese is strong. Japanese, you speak from the chest, you know. A lot of the Americans are learning Chinese, I've seen. You know, Chinese, I see people say, you gotta learn Chinese. They're taking over. Chinese. Ni hao ma. Shi shi ni. Chinese. It's too late. It's too late to learn Chinese. It's over. No, it's true. It's true because it's also one of the hardest languages in the world. I mean, how do you learn Chinese now? Just, you know, they've got over 10,000 characters in the alphabet. You know this? 10,000 characters. We've got 26 in English, and there's still people going, "What comes after Q?" 26. This is, you know, 10,000 they've got. That's super smart. Although they must have the worst Sesame Street in the world. It must suck being a Muppet in that country. I can just see them on a Monday morning singing to the kids. 5 years later, it's just horrible. Horrible.